I arrive at Gulf Coast State College, Panama City, with a suitcase full of expectations and a heart that believes a higher education should be a promise of growth, not a maze of deception. The moment I step through the glass doors, I am greeted by a lobby that feels half empty and half broken. The plaster is stained with a faint yellow that smells of stale coffee and neglect. The smell alone tells me that the building has not been cared for. A neglected environment signals that the people who run the place do not respect the comfort of those who enter, and that respect is the foundation of any learning sanctuary. I approach the front desk and am handed a brochure that promises seamless pathways to certification. I fill out the form and send my information into the system. Within minutes, I receive a call from a company called CareerStep, a name that the college outsources to for enrollment. A man named Eric appears on the other end of the line. He talks in fast sentences, pressing me to sign a loan. He does not tell me the amount of the monthly payment. He simply says that I must act now or my dream of a new career will fade. This pressure tactic is harmful because it strips me of the ability to make an informed decision. When a student is not given the full cost, the student cannot evaluate whether the debt is manageable. The result is that many young people become trapped in loans that they cannot afford, a trap that ruins financial stability and creates lifelong anxiety. I tell Eric that I am unsure about my finances. He continues to send texts, more than 5 messages in one day, each one pleading, each one more urgent. I block his number and block the email address, yet the messages keep arriving, a relentless storm of persuasion that feels like harassment. This relentless contact is a violation of personal boundaries and creates a climate of fear. When a student feels forced, the educational experience turns into a nightmare rather than a hopeful journey. Later, I meet with an advisor about my veteran benefits. I have accumulated 49 credit hours, and the advisor tells me that I need another class to satisfy the requirements. The next semester, another counselor informs me that 16 of those hours were unnecessary. The VA had approved the classes, yet the college now tells me they are not needed. This inconsistency is catastrophic for a veteran, because it wastes time, money, and the hard-earned benefits that were promised. When an institution misleads a veteran about needed courses, it betrays the trust of those who have served, and it forces them to spend another semester to fix a mistake that should never have been made. The counseling office is a place I hope to find guidance, but the counselors act as if they are invisible. They respond to emails with a single line, they schedule appointments that never happen, and they claim that the website contains the answers. When I go to the website, I see broken links, outdated schedules, and a voicemail system that crackles and loops. The phone system is a labyrinth of bad recordings that repeat the same error message. This lack of clear communication creates a cascade of frustration. A student cannot register for classes, cannot know when to pay tuition, and cannot plan a future. The root cause is poor management and a lack of investment in proper staff training. The dental assisting program becomes another disappointment. The instructor, Laurie Womble, speaks in monotone, never answers questions, and seems disinterested in teaching. The curriculum is outdated, the lab equipment is rusted, and the clinical hours are rushed. When the quality of instruction is this low, the student learns nothing valuable, and the certificate becomes a paper that holds no weight in the job market. This failure harms the reputation of the entire program and leaves graduates feeling cheated. I sit in a classroom where the professor uses only one PowerPoint slide that repeats the same bullet.
Points the professor never engages, never answers when a hand is raised, and seems content to simply be present. The students are left to read the same slide over and over, fostering a sense of neglect. This teaching style is harmful because learning is an active process. When a teacher does not stimulate thought, the mind drifts and knowledge is not retained. The student's time is wasted, and the tuition paid feels like a cruel joke. The campus itself feels unsafe after dark. The lights flicker on the walkways, the parking lot is empty, and the shadows seem to loom. A sense of insecurity adds another layer of distress. When a student does not feel safe, the ability to focus on studies diminishes, and the overall college experience becomes a source of anxiety rather than growth.
You know, it is kind of strange how things can seem so bright and welcoming on the surface. But there's always something lurking beneath. Isn't he there? I've been looking into these scams and frauds near Gulf Coast State College, Panama City, and it's like the sunny beaches and bustling shops have this dark underbelly that nobody really talks about. Take, for instance, this one souvenir shop just a stone's throw from the college. It's quaint, with all these trinkets and treasures that scream Panama City. But you've got to be careful, you know. I heard about this tourist who found a deal that seemed too good to be true, a genuine Panamanian hat for a fraction of the price. They snapped it up, only to find out later it was a cheap fake. I can just imagine the sinking feeling in their stomach when they realized they'd been had. They probably felt embarrassed, maybe a bit foolish for not seeing the signs. And the scammer, they likely pocketed the cash and moved on to the next unsuspecting visitor. It's a vicious cycle, and it just keeps going. Then there's the story of this couple who stopped by a charming cafe for a quick bite. They were charmed by the friendly waiter and the promise of authentic local cuisine. But when the bill came, it was like they dined at a 5-star restaurant. Hidden charges and all. They must have argued with the staff, but what could they do? They were just passing through, and the scammers knew it. They probably paid up, feeling cheated and frustrated, while the cafe owners laughed all the way to the bank. It's a tale as old as time, and it happens right here, near Gulf Coast State College. And it's not just about the money, is it? It's the betrayal of trust, the shattering of that fleeting moment of joy when you think you've found something special. Like this one time, a group of tourists was promised a guided tour of the historic sites around Panama City. They paid up front, but the guide was a no-show. Can you imagine the disappointment? They likely stood there, waiting, hopes deflating like a punctured balloon, while the so-called guide was off somewhere, spending their hard-earned money without a care in the world. It's a never-ending story, and it's not just one or two bad apples. It's a pattern, a game that some folks play with the lives of travelers who come here looking for a slice of paradise. They find it all right, but it's tainted with deceit. It's like the area near Gulf Coast State College becomes this stage where the unsuspecting are just players in someone else's profit-making drama. But what can you do, right? You can live in fear, always looking over your shoulder. You have to trust that the world is filled with more good than bad. Even in Panama City, with its share of scoundrels, there are honest people, genuine experiences waiting to be had. You just have to keep your wits about you, maybe do a bit of research, and hope that karma is as swift and just as we like to believe. Because in the end, nobody wants to remember their vacation for the wrong reasons.
Opening with a soft, melodic tone, welcome, esteemed travelers, to a candid exploration of the businesses surrounding the esteemed Gulf Coast State College in Panama City. As we embark on this journey, I must preface with a note of caution: the landscape that unfolds before us is one painted with mixed hues of satisfaction and, regrettably, frequent shades of disappointment. With a reflective pause, imagine, if you will, strolling through the bustling corridors of Pier Park, a place that promises a seaside escape, but often delivers a cacophony of overcrowded distress, particularly during the peak season. It's a locale where the serene sounds of summer concerts are occasionally drowned out by the clamor of unruly spring breakers, leaving one to ponder, is this truly the family-friendly haven it claims to be? With a hint of sarcasm, let us not overlook the shopping complex's charms, for amidst the chaos, there are indeed some good stores and ample parking. Yet, one cannot help but feel a twinge of trepidation, as if preparing for a battle rather than a leisurely shopping experience. Segue with a solemn tone in the pursuit of tranquility, one might seek refuge in the seemingly serene embrace of Serenity Spa. Alas, the irony is as palpable as the tension that lingers in the air. Here, the quest for relaxation often leads to an odyssey of discontent, where forced gratuities and unmet expectations are as common as the echo of footsteps on the empty, cavernous floors. With a wry smile, one might say that the spa's most consistent service is the provision of memorable impressions, though perhaps not the kind one frames and hangs above the mantel. Transition with a sigh as the sun dips below the horizon. The aroma of freshly roasted beans beckons from Amavida Coffee Roasters in St. Andrews. Yet, even in this sanctuary of Java, one might find themselves in a brewing storm of confusion, where the quest for a simple latte becomes an adventure fraught with peril, and the staff's hospitality is as lukewarm as the coffee they pour. With a playful grimace and what of no-name lounge, a place that promises the allure of a dive bar but delivers a dive into the unexpected. It's a spot where the welcome mat is swiftly pulled away, leaving patrons to wonder if their four-legged friends are more valued than they are. Here, the only thing colder than the draft beer is the reception one receives upon arrival. With a contemplative tone in the quieter corners of this Floridian enclave, the Beach House Market stands as a beacon of style, albeit with a price tag that may cause one's wallet to recoil in shock. And at Nilly's Wine Bar, the clock ticks faster than one might expect, with the sands of hospitality running out well before the posted closing time. With a touch of melancholy, travelers, as you navigate the streets near Gulf Coast State College, tread with caution and temper your expectations. The businesses here, much like the tides of the nearby Gulf, ebb and flow with the promise of delight and the risk of disillusionment. Closing with a warm, protective tone, remember, the true essence of travel lies not in the destinations we seek, but in the stories we gather. May your tales be filled with laughter, and may the occasional misadventure serve as a seasoning to the rich tapestry of your journey. Safe travels, dear friends, and may the winds of fortune guide you to the gems that surely glisten amidst the ordinary.